back, who's actually right behind that camera. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Carton Show. We've got Mark Schlereth, we've got Cody Decker, and we've got Week 14 in the NFL. And on paper, like a year and a half ago, this game sounded really, really good.
Right. Yes, it did.
Unfortunately, the Rams have now lost like 12 consecutive games. They were 3-3. They're now 3-9. And let's get right into today's headlines, please. Raiders and Rams tonight. And while this is the premiere of the LA Rams Baker Mayfield experiment, this game means a heck of a lot to the Las Vegas Raiders, who've now won 3 consecutive games and are keeping those small, tiny playoff hopes alive in tonight's game.
Yeah, on paper, like I like to say, if the games were played on paper, I'd have spent a lot less time on the operating table. They're not. But I will say that I just don't think there's any way Baker Mayfield could be ready, other than having a very small role of plays that he can play. There's no way I don't believe he can start. But the Raiders, you bring up a good point about the Raiders.
Yeah.
They're sneaky right now.
They are. They're 5-7.
They're 5-7.
They've won 3 games in a row. They're starting to score some points again.
Offensively, they had a change based on injuries. They've had a change from, a 3-wide personnel grouping to a 2-back, fullback, smash mouth kind of. I like what they've done. I think Josh McDaniels done a good job with that team. They are sneaking closer to the playoffs.
And it's crazy because when you start looking at all the games they lost this year, maybe not all of them, but a lot of them, where they blew so many fourth quarter or second half leads, they are a good enough team to already be in the playoffs. They've played under, their talent. But the big question for tonight's game is Josh Jacobs. He's been a man-child for them the last month. And I know he's questionable for tonight's game, which tells me he's going to play, but he's a running back with a quad issue, and he's also got like a hamstring joint going on. So how effective can he really be?
Well, I think they can be really effective because that's what they do. The kid's name is from Germany. He's Jakob Johnson.
Jakob?
Dude, that dude has got like a lot of muscle in his forehead.
We don't pronounce the J over there?
No, we don't know J's. They're Y's.
Jakob.
Yeah, Jakob. So, dude, like I said, muscle in his forehead. His head is made of concrete and rebar.
Yeah. Well,
so
is that a good thing?
Like that is when you're a fullback.
If you're a back,
when you're a fullback, it's a great thing, right?
You're like the
I don't know.
guy
I don't know that it actually serves you in any other walk of
No,
life.
it does. It does.
Does
if you're
it?
the lead guy in a SWAT unit trying to breach a door,
you
have a choice. Hey, should we get the big SWAT tag? No, we got Jakob.
Yeah, right. A lot of guys, they use those things. They just use him and bam,
human battering ram.
It's Raiders Rams tonight. We got more of that game coming up a little bit later on as the Raiders look to go to 6-7 and keep those playoff hopes alive. Bad news if you're a Bills Mafia guy, and that is Von Miller. This is interesting to me because they didn't know that he had a torn ACL. I guess as the story goes now, the doctors went in to just kind of like clean out some debris in the knee so that he could play again this year. And when they went into the knee, they recognized that he tore his ACL. He is out for the year.
Yeah, it's a really tough break for them because he's one of those dudes, when you break the huddle as an offensive player, there are those guys, we used to call them war daddies. He's a war daddy, meaning, hey man, break the huddle, and then you find where he is 40, and now we have to account for him. So there's got to be a double team, whether it's 2 offensive linemen, whether it's an offensive lineman and a tight end, offensive lineman and a back. And so what ends up happening to you is if it's 2 offensive linemen, everybody else is man-to-man. If it's a tight end or a ball carrier, I don't call them skill position players. Okay. Ball.
We're doing a TV show over here.
I don't call them that. I call them ball.
I'm just saying, like when you write your memoir, we'll look forward to reading that chapter about I don't call them whatever he does.
Right.
Chapter 9.
I don't call them. They're not skill position. They're ball touchers.
Great. That's chapter 8.
Wait a minute. They're not ball touchers. No. Retract that. They are ball handlers.
This has really worked out well this week, hasn't it?
Let's not. Let's move on. He's a really important part of that defense.
Listen, as I told you off air, dumb it down. Just dumb it down. Von Miller, he's good. Von Miller's out. That stinks. Anyway, it's a huge loss, is what he's trying to say for the Buffalo Bills. But no worries, they play the Jets this week. Easy W.
No, what I'm telling you, I'm telling you there's a chance.
There's always a chance.
There's
always a chance. All right. Big baseball news, of course, it broke right on our show live yesterday. Aaron Judge,
He's
9
good.
years, $360 million. He is good. He got a bigger offer from San Diego.
Yeah.
And the way this story played out yesterday was great. He was going to go to San Francisco. And then the Yankee owner, a guy named Hal Steinbrenner, was on vacation in Italy. And they said, yeah, we just lost Aaron Judge. He goes, get him on the phone for me. FaceTime. Aaron, do you want to be a Yankee? Aaron Judge, do you want to give me $360 million? Welcome back. And that's how it goes.
You broke the story.
Yeah,
Look
that's
at you.
how it goes. And we've done similar things here. Cody, do you want to work on Fox? Do you have $5 in a coffee? Welcome to Fox.
It's been great. I'm having so much coffee.
Anyhow, so he goes, the other dominoes start to fall. You talked to us yesterday about Xander Bogaerts, the Red Sox shortstop, who is no longer the Red Sox shortstop. He goes to San Diego, 8 years. I thought it was longer
It's
than that.
longer. It's 10
I think it's 11
years,
actually.
$280 million.
Yeah, it's 11 years, $280 million.
Yeah, so he's going to be a Padre all the way till age 41 years old. The Padres now are one of the most expensive teams in the history of all of professional sports. And this is the San Diego Padres going neck to neck with the Yankees right now as far as spending. Xander Bogaerts is going to be a great player in that lineup. I do not understand this contract. I do not understand the years. But, hey, man, Padres are not going anywhere for a while.
Can I ask a question? You know, all these other towns that talk about, oh, we can't afford this guy, we can't afford that guy. San Diego's not a major market town, and yet the last 3 years, they're spending like they're the Red Sox, the Yankees, the Dodgers. If they can do it, why can't everybody do it?
They can. Everybody can. But here's the thing. You got to understand the Padres. They've never won a World Series, and they're 100 miles south of the Los Angeles Dodgers, and they watch the Dodgers win that division every single year. It's like the Jets watching if the Giants were winning the Super Bowl every single year, the Jets would go out and start spending as much money as possible.
And real quick, where does this put San Diego? You told us earlier in the week Philly's got the best offense. It seems like San Diego's got the best raw talent.
Incredibly, yeah. I think they're actually the best team in the NL West, which the Dodgers are in the NL West. The Padres, man, they are not going anywhere, and they are the second best team in the National League behind the Phillies.
There's only one thing that concerns me about this. Does he have to change his name?
From Xander Bogaerts?
No, Bogaerts, because he's a Boston guy, right? I mean, like it's a great name in Boston. Do you know? Do you change it? Do you say it like you do now?
He's punch drunk is what's happening, folks. Like, some of us get used to not sleeping a lot, some of us don't. That's why he's on a 4-day work week here.
Yes.
And final headline for you. I think you'll agree with me on this. Okay. I know Cody will as well. One of the best sporting events of the year, every single year, is Army-Navy. It is a game you should never wager on because it just be about the organic love that we have for these young men who represent our country. And they had a little fun, as they always do between the military services. Navy pranked Army by dropping ping pong balls all over their quad and leaflets that said, beat Army and fly Navy. And this is a tradition going back a very, very long time between the two academies of playing pranks on one another. But I love Army-Navy, and it's one of those games I think everyone should just sit down and watch and enjoy for what it is.
Have you been to it?
Sadly, I've never been to it.
I've never been to it either,
Yeah.
but I've always heard so many great things, so many great stories about obviously the tradition, but just being at that game.
Just seeing the cadets there. Yeah. And again, the Army's had some really good teams. Navy has had some really good teams that have gone to bowl games and all that. But to me, this is about just the purity of who these young men are and the dedication they make to us. And everybody should watch this game. And I think it's great that they've kept that tradition alive of playing harmless pranks on each other. It's great.
I love it. We used to do it all the time at USC and UCLA. I was at UCLA. We would mess with their Trojan. They'd mess with our Giant Bruin. It just adds an extra layer of excitement.
That happened in Idaho. People used to throw potatoes at us. I think it was a funny joke.
Nice. There you go. All right. We're going to take a quick time out. We're going to smack him around a little bit, and then we're going to have a lot more fun. We got more on the Judge signing. We got a lot going on with tonight's football game and a lot in between. Thank you for checking us out. It's the Carton Show on Espn. Navy has had some really good teams that have gone to bowl games and all that. But to me, this is about just the purity of who these young men are and the dedication they make to us. and everybody should watch this game. And I think it's great that they've kept that tradition alive of playing harmless pranks on each other. It's great.
I love it. We used to do it all the time at USC and UCLA. I was at UCLA. We would mess with their Trojan. They'd mess with our Giant Bruin. It just adds an extra layer of excitement.
That happened in Idaho. People used to throw potatoes at us. I think it was a funny joke.
Nice. There you go. All right. We're going to take a quick time out. We're going to smack him around a little bit, and then we're going to have a lot more fun. We got more on the Judge signing. We got a lot going on with tonight's football.